What's up everyone? Welcome back to OneCodeCamp channel. This is Ian, and for this video, we are going to understand how we are going to pass functions and data between the different EJS template that we have created so far. It's actually comparable to unlocking a superpower for code organization and most importantly, code reusability. We are also going to create or to do a process wherein we're going to create the necessary modules that we will need for our project. Aside from that, we will also touch down in how to export and import those functions and data that we're able to create. And then afterwards, all those processes, we are going to see how we can combine all of these components together for them to create a full-blown EJS project. So by the end of this session, you will be well equipped into utilizing modular architectures in your future React project. So enough with the introduction and let's get into coding. All right, so now we have our Visual Studio Code open, and then inside is an EJS folder. This EJS folder is what we actually use from the prior videos, but I just deleted all the other files in here and just left these three important ones. But if you guys have started on this video and have not watched the other ones, you can create the same file directory by creating your folder specifically, or I encourage you to have it named EJS as your folder name. And then once done, open your terminal on that folder location, run this first command. Once that's done installing, run this next command, and you should now be able to have a working project directory with the very same files as mine. Okay, so since that's out of the way, what we are going to do now again is to demonstrate how to export and of course import information from one file, from one JavaScript file to the other, and of course implement that to our EJS template. So what we want to do now is to create the files that we're going to do for this demonstration. So first, let us create the server file. We are going to name it app.js. And then I want to create another folder for our EJS template. So we are naming it views. And then inside our views folder is we are going to create our EJS template, which we are going to give it a name of index.ejs. We forgot the dot. Okay, there you go. And then along with the app.js, we would like to also add files in here. Maybe we can go for module1.js. Okay, I think that'll do it for now. So let me see. I'm trying to think what to start first. Let us create the structure of this project. So we will just be getting the boilerplate for an HTML file here in our index.ejs. And let's do that now. So we are changing the title. Let's put in here module, export, and import to reflect the name of our lesson for this video. Okay, and then here, let me just fix the indentation of everyone. Okay, it's looking better. Okay, so now we have our file ready. So again, what we are trying to do in here is to demonstrate how we can access information from one JavaScript file to another. It actually just works like in importing and exporting information in the front end. The way we do it is that if you're going to look at the head tag in a normal HTML file, we can like import other metadata or other files in here by like for example, we wanna link a CSS file in here. We will just need to write this line of code, refer or include in here the file path for the CSS file you want to use, and you will be able to use all the information inside of that file. What we're now doing with the backend with the module export is pretty much the same concept. But of course, we're going to see in a bit how they are different to one another. So in here, I think let's start with a heading. So for the heading, let's see, what do we want to say in the heading? I think maybe that's what information that we can pass on as a function or as a variable. So let's leave the index.ejs like this for now, and then let's just save the file. And then next would be, I think we would like to do the server the last. Now for the module, for this module 1.js file, this is where we are going to declare some variables and functions that we would like to pass on to the server so it gets reflected to the template that we created. So in here, we are going to declare, let's say, a variable, since what we want to be included here in the heading would be like a short greeting. So let's just name this greeting, and then let's save some string. You can just say hello EJS. Okay, here we have it. And then down here is we would want to create a function. So function, and then maybe we can name it get greeting. Okay. And then inside this function, we will just want to return this bunch of string up here. So we're just mentioning the name of the variable, greeting. Okay, now is the most important part. So the highlight of our video is how, again, we can pass all this information to another file. And the way we do it is by using the module.exports keyword. So this is like our way of saying that this module can be imported, and we inside here in this curly braces are the information that we wanted to be move around or to be accessible. So basically, we want to be the function. So it should be get greeting. Okay. Then we're leaving a comma just in case we will need to edit this later on and add another function. So let's leave it as that. Let's save this file. And then now I think we're ready to update or add code to our app.js file. So here in the app.js, we are just be making a usual server. So first is we would like to, of course, integrate the Express library and framework. So you will be seeing a lot of this require method in here. This is our way of integrating libraries or other files to the project that we're working on. So that's for the Express, and then another one for the Express function as well. And then in here, it would be the port. So we, of course, wanted to specify which port would we want to use for setting up the live preview of our project. And then here is where we can configure that we will be, of course, using EJS as our templating language, view engine, and then EJS. Okay. And then on this part here, down below the configuration part is where we can now import the modules or the .js files that we have alongside with our server. So we are, of course, going to store that in a variable again. Let's just say module 1. Let's just use the name of the file for us to remember easily. And then we are using, again, the require method. And in this time, we are putting in the file path for the module file in here. So that's module 1. Okay. Don't forget our semicolon. Okay. So you can see, you've seen these from the past videos that we created. But just to highlight, there's actually like no need for us to include the extension name at the end of the extension or the file names anymore upon using the require method. That is because the require method automatically looks for any files so that we don't need to include the file extension anymore. So it normally like does this, it's programmed to do its thing automatically. And then down here, let me see. It's now we can set the root URL. We're going to do the routing on this part now. Rest. Okay. And then inside this function is where we can store the greeting variable that we have from the other file. Now we are going to use this variable that we written in here so that we can now use, or we can now refer to this module1 file. Module1 that, and then this is now the part wherein we are getting the function written inside our module1.js file. So again, the name of that function is, let me go take a look just to make sure we're writing this correctly. So it's get greeting. Okay, all right. Get, oops, have an extra G in there. Let's remove that. Okay. And then here below is where we are going to render the EJS template, and then at the same time, of course, pass the data. Press that render. And this would be the index EJS template. That's the template that we wanted to pass on whenever the root URL is being accessed. And then we are now calling in here the variable that we want to use. Okay, right. Appears to be complete. Oh, we will need to add, of course, the port in here. We just want our app to listen to the port that we have indicated. So port. Let me just create this real quick. Then we, of course, wanted to get a confirmation that everything is connecting properly by displaying a message on our console. Server is running on port. And then we'll just basically need to call in our port variable, which, let me just remind you that we declared up here. Okay, let me just check if we have everything correctly. So this needs to have a semicolon. Okay, let us, I think we are now, no, we have not called in the information that we set in here in the index, on our index template. So let us do that now. So we can now pass in the dynamic greeting that we created from our module1.js file. So the way we do it again is by using the script data tags, and then use in the variable that was passed on to this template. Okay, there. Okay, let's now run our server and hope to not get any errors. Okay, I'm opening up my terminal, and then I am now will be running our server, node space app.js. Okay, we now have an error. Let's see what happened. Cannot find module 1. So it cannot find the module 1 for us in the app.js. Let's see. Module 1. But it's right here. Okay, go ahead and take a look. Maybe we have indicated a wrong file path. Let me try to add in the current directory. Okay, maybe like we can add this. Let's see what's going to happen. Save the file, save the changes, and then run the server again. Oh, okay, we are not showing any errors. Now let's go ahead and open our live server, and then let's see this in a browser. Cross your fingers. Let's hope not to get any errors again. Let me just fix the Visual Studio Code so the browser can fit on the right side. Let me also close our notepad and bring over the browser to this side of the monitor. Now it automatically opened on port 5500. So we will just need to change that 3000. Okay. All right. Well, it appears that everything's working perfectly fine. So this is the template that it's rendering now. And we now have the exact information that we have from this module being passed on to the server, and then the server transferring it over or projecting it over to our index template. Okay. Okay. So now that's working. Of course, we let's go ahead and spice things up a bit. Of course, we wanted to highlight the modular architecture that we wanted to be demonstrate within this video. So we're going to add another JS file. So let's go for, you guess it, module2.js. So by creating now another file, we can demonstrate how the reusability and cleaner code can be done within a Node.js project. So we are trying to maximize the advantage of exporting and importing these files so that we can have a cleaner code. Like we don't need to repeat the contents of one file to another. Like we can just store, let's say here in module1.js a function, and then we can keep on reusing this just by using a single word, the single variable that we created inside it, to any part of our other files, specifically with our templates, to be used repeatedly without it being too lengthy or without us writing the code from the very beginning every time we will be needing that specific function. This actually works best if you feel like you will be using one single function frequently in your application. So you can, this is when exporting, or when the modular architecture concept comes in, and it's when the most usable. So right now for our module, it's supposed to be module 2. I keep on getting distracted whenever I talk too much, but there you go. So for the module 2, we of course want to add in here another set of information, let's say another variable, of course, and then another function. So let's see, maybe in this module we can add some numbers. So let's see, let us create a function. Maybe we can use multiplication. Maybe we can do an expression in here. So let's go for add. We would like to create a function that can add up numbers, just like a calculator, if you would like to go for that concept. So we would like for this function, whenever called, to return the value for a plus b. Okay, oops, don't forget your semicolon. And then of course we will be using the star of our video, the module.exports method. And then here is where we are going to export our function, our add function. Okay, save the file, and then let's have it modified back here in our server. So first we will need to add that up here, so we can set up the location. We can direct the server to the location of the file. Cons module2 require, and then don't forget to put in the correct file path. We don't want the same error to happen again. It's like what happened from earlier. Module2. Okay, I think this will do. And then here on the same routing, since we're only using one EJS template, is we can just add in here the next function. I think it should be here. Cons, and then the name of the function again. Add. Okay. Or I think we can name it add. Okay, let's just name it add to be so much simpler. Then we are going to call in module2.add. Okay. And then of course, we will need to pass in parameters since we add a parameter of a, b, and e. So let's just go for 23, and what number would you want? 50. So it can be bigger. Okay. All right. Okay, that is looking good. Let me make sure we have everything here that we need. Oh, we will need to, of course, pass the variable again in here. So add. Okay, let's save the file and run the server again. So what we want to happen is, we have not added it to the index file or to our template yet. So of course we want under the greeting of hello EJS, for the expression to be displaying below the greeting. So let us do that now. Let's maybe enclose it in a p tag. Okay. Oops. Add. Okay. And then of course, close our scriptlet tag. Okay. And then let's just push enter on our terminal. Okay. All right. Okay. So here is the result of the addition that we did in here. Doesn't make much of a sense if we're going to look at it on our web page, but we were able to accomplish our objective of passing not just variables, but even functions from one file to another, again, by using the module that exports method. And with using these this export and import process, again, we can keep our codes much shorter than when we don't need them, than when we are not going to use these exporting and importing of information. It also makes our code reusable and easy to maintain. I think it will be easier for you to maintain or to look or to check one file for a single function than to just look for it through a very long code base. Right? I hope you agree, and I do hope you were able to grasp the concept of how we use module exports through different JavaScript files, and then again have it integrated to our EJS template. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on in the next one.